The vast metropolis of Kresh Prime was abuzz with excitement as news of the intergalactic culinary competition spread like wildfire. This event, held once every decade, was the ultimate test for chefs from all corners of the galaxy, a prestigious arena where culinary prowess was showcased and celebrated. The streets were decorated with vibrant banners, and the air was filled with tantalizing aromas from various food stalls representing different civilizations. In a grand hall, adorned with shimmering lights and intricate tapestries, chefs gathered to register for the competition. Among them was Zephyrin, a towering figure with pale blue skin and multiple arms, each one capable of performing a different task simultaneously. His reputation as a master of Glimrath cuisine preceded him, and he wore his arrogance like a second skin. To Zephyrin, this competition was another opportunity to prove the superiority of Glimrath culinary traditions. As Zephyrin walked through the bustling crowd, his eyes fell on a young human chef who seemed out of place. Daniel Carter, with his unassuming demeanor and simple attire, stood in stark contrast to the other contestants. He was busy arranging his modest set of ingredients, oblivious to the stares and whispers around him. Daniel had come to Kresh Prime with a singular goal: to prove that human cuisine, often dismissed as primitive and unsophisticated, had its own unique value. "What's this, a human cook?" Zephyrin's voice dripped with disdain as he approached Daniel's station. "Do you honestly believe you stand a chance here?" Daniel looked up, meeting Zephyrin's gaze with a calm determination. "Everyone deserves a chance to showcase their skills," he replied. "I may surprise you." Zephyrin let out a mocking laugh. "Surprise me? The only surprise will be if you don't embarrass yourself. This competition is no place for amateurs." Ignoring the taunts, Daniel continued his preparations, his mind focused on the task ahead. He knew the road would be tough, but he was driven by a passion for cooking that transcended borders and species. The opening ceremony began with a dazzling display of lights and music. The head judge, an imposing figure named Siraxa, stepped forward to address the contestants. "Welcome, chefs from across the galaxy. Today, you will compete to create dishes that not only tantalize the taste buds, but also tell a story of your heritage. This competition is about more than just food. It's about understanding and celebrating our diverse cultures." As Siraxa spoke, Daniel felt a surge of inspiration. This was his chance to make a difference, to bridge the gap between humans and other species through the universal language of food. He glanced at Zephyrin, who was already plotting his victory, and steeled himself for the challenges ahead. The competition officially began with a flurry of activity. Each chef was assigned a state-of-the-art kitchen station, complete with advanced cooking appliances and an array of exotic ingredients. The first round required the chefs to prepare an appetizer that would set the tone for their culinary journey. Daniel took a deep breath and surveyed his ingredients. He decided to start with a dish that was close to his heart, a fusion of Earth's traditional flavors with a touch of intergalactic spice. He began chopping vegetables with practiced precision, his mind already envisioning the final presentation. Across the room, Zephyrin was in his element. His multiple arms moved in a blur as he prepared a complex Glimrath appetizer, using ingredients that were foreign to most of the audience. The aroma of his dish wafted through the air, drawing appreciative murmurs from the spectators. As Daniel worked, he couldn't help but notice the curious glances from the other contestants. Some, like the Martian chef Anara, watched with genuine interest, while others, like the Venusian cook Thras, seemed more skeptical. Despite the differences, there was a shared sense of purpose among the chefs, a desire to create something extraordinary. The cultural contrasts became more apparent as the chefs presented their appetizers. Zephyrin's dish was a masterpiece of Glimrath cuisine, featuring vibrant colors and intricate designs. The judges were visibly impressed, nodding in approval as they tasted the delicate flavors. Next, it was Daniel's turn. He carefully plated his appetizer, a colorful blend of roasted vegetables and a tangy sauce made from the mystery spice. As the judges took their first bites, there was a moment of silence, followed by a ripple of surprise. The flavors were bold and unexpected, a harmonious blend of familiar and exotic. Siraxa, the head judge, raised an eyebrow. Interesting. This dish has a certain depth to it. A fusion of cultures, perhaps? Daniel nodded. Yes, I wanted to create something that reflects the diversity of our galaxy. Each ingredient tells a story. The judges exchanged glances, intrigued by Daniel's approach. While Zephyrn's dish had dazzled with its complexity, Daniel's creation resonated on a different level, evoking a sense of unity and connection. As the round concluded, the chefs gathered to discuss their experiences. Anara approached Daniel with a smile. Your dish was impressive. I've never tasted anything quite like it. Thank you, Daniel replied, grateful for the support. I wanted to show that human cuisine can be just as innovative and meaningful as any other. Thras, the Venusian cook, joined the conversation, albeit with a hint of skepticism. You've got guts, human, but don't think it'll be easy. This competition only gets tougher. Daniel nodded. I know, but I'm here to give it my best shot. Meanwhile, Zephyrn watched from a distance, his earlier confidence shaken. He couldn't deny the impact of Daniel's dish, but he refused to acknowledge it openly. To him, the idea that a human could rival his culinary expertise was unthinkable. As the contestants prepared for the next round, the stage was set for an intense and unforgettable competition. The clash of cultures had only just begun, and the journey ahead promised to be filled with challenges, rivalries, and unexpected alliances. The announcement of the mystery ingredient sent a wave of anticipation and anxiety through the contestants. This ingredient, a rare spice called celestium, was known for its unpredictable and volatile flavor profile. Found only in the remote asteroid fields of the Zephron system, celestium was highly prized and notoriously difficult to master. Siraxa held up a small vial of the shimmering blue powder. Celestium will be the key element in your next dish. Incorporate it wisely, for it can elevate a dish to greatness or lead it to disaster. Daniel carefully examined the vial handed to him. The spice glimmered with an otherworldly light, and a single whiff revealed a complex aroma, both sweet and pungent. He felt a mix of excitement and apprehension. This was his chance to truly stand out, but the risk was significant. Zephyrn, on the other hand, seemed unfazed. He had encountered celestium before and believed his experience would give him an edge. He glanced over at Daniel, a smirk playing on his lips. Good luck, human. You'll need it. Determined, Daniel began to brainstorm ideas. He decided to create a dish that combined the earthy flavors of traditional human cuisine with the exotic notes of celestium. He envisioned a savory main course that would surprise the judges and demonstrate his versatility. As the contestants set to work, the kitchen buzzed with activity. Pots clanged, flames roared, and the air filled with a symphony of sizzling and chopping. Daniel focused intently on his dish, carefully measuring the celestium and blending it with his ingredients. Zephyrn moved with practiced ease, preparing a dish that highlighted his mastery of Glimrath cooking techniques. He planned to use celestium to enhance the natural flavors of his ingredients, creating a complex and harmonious balance. The other contestants, including Anara and Thras, worked with equal intensity, each bringing their unique cultural influences to bear on their creations. The diversity of approaches was a testament to the richness of the galaxy's culinary traditions. As the final moments ticked away, Daniel plated his dish, a succulent piece of roasted lamb infused with celestium, served with a side of spiced root vegetables and a tangy sauce. The aroma was intoxicating, a blend of familiar and alien scents that promised an unforgettable experience. The chefs lined up to present their dishes to the judges. The tension was palpable as each contestant awaited their turn. Zephyrn, confident and composed, stepped forward first. He unveiled a dish that was a feast for the eyes. Delicate strips of Glimrath meat glazed with a celestium reduction, accompanied by intricate vegetable carvings. The judges tasted Zephyrn's dish with keen interest. Siraxa took a moment to savor the flavors before nodding approvingly. Impressive as always, Zephyrn. The celestium adds a remarkable depth to the dish. Zephyrn bowed slightly, his confidence bolstered by the positive feedback. He glanced at Daniel, silently daring him to do better. Next up was Anara, who presented a Martian delicacy that combined the robustness of Mars-grown produce with the ethereal notes of celestium. The judges appreciated her innovative use of the spice, noting the harmonious blend of flavors. When it was Daniel's turn, he took a deep breath and approached the judges' table. He placed his dish before them, explaining his concept. This is a fusion of Earth's traditional lamb roast with the exotic essence of Celestium. I wanted to create something that honors both my heritage and the diversity of our galaxy. The judges leaned in to inspect the dish. Siraxa took the first bite, her expression inscrutable. The other judges followed suit, and for a moment there was silence. Daniel's heart pounded as he awaited their verdict. Finally, Siraxa spoke, her voice filled with admiration. This dish is extraordinary. The Celestium is perfectly balanced, enhancing the lamb without overpowering it. You've managed to create a fusion that is both innovative and deeply satisfying. The other judges nodded in agreement, and a murmur of appreciation spread through the audience. Daniel felt a surge of relief and pride. He had not only met the challenge, but had also impressed the judges with his creativity and skill. As the judges continued to deliberate, the contestants mingled and discussed their experiences. Anara approached Daniel with a warm smile. "Your dish was incredible, Daniel. I think you've really made an impression." "Thanks, Anara," Daniel replied, grateful for her support. "Your dish was amazing too. It's fascinating to see how everyone interprets the mystery ingredient differently." Thras joined the conversation, a grudging respect in his eyes. "I'll admit, human, you did better than I expected. But don't get too comfortable. The competition is far from over." Daniel nodded, aware of the challenges still ahead. He glanced at Zephyrin, who stood apart, his expression unreadable. The Glimrath chef had not commented on Daniel's dish, but there was a subtle shift in his demeanor, a hint of grudging respect perhaps, or a realization that the human might be a more formidable opponent than he had anticipated. As the judges prepared to announce the results of the round, the contestants gathered, their anticipation building. Siraxa stepped forward, her voice carrying the weight of the moment. "The winner of this round, for their exceptional use of Celestium and their innovative fusion of flavors, is Daniel Carter." The crowd erupted in applause, and Daniel felt a wave of emotions, relief, joy, and a renewed determination. He had proven himself capable, but he knew the journey was far from over. The road ahead would be filled with more challenges, but for now, he allowed himself to savor the victory and the knowledge that he had taken a significant step toward his goal. The competition grew fiercer as the next round approached. The chefs were tasked with creating an entree that would elevate the mystery ingredient, Celestium, to new heights. Daniel felt a renewed sense of determination after his recent victory. But he also knew that Zephyrin and the other chefs were more determined than ever to win. Daniel decided to focus on a dish that emphasized the deep, earthy flavors of human cuisine, combined with the celestial notes of Celestium. He planned to make a rich, savory sauce that would tie all the elements of his dish together. As he started prepping his ingredients, he noticed Zephyrin glancing his way with a mixture of curiosity and skepticism. Zephyrin, despite his initial disdain, couldn't help but acknowledge Daniel's growing reputation. He decided to observe Daniel's process closely, hoping to find a weakness he could exploit. Meanwhile, Anara and Thras, intrigued by Daniel's innovative approach, kept a friendly but competitive eye on him. Daniel worked methodically, infusing his sauce with layers of flavor. He used a blend of earth spices and the mysterious Celestium, creating a complex and aromatic mixture. The sauce simmered on the stove, filling the air with a tantalizing scent that drew the attention of everyone in the kitchen. As the time for presenting the entrees approached, Zephyrin's strategy took a darker turn. Feeling threatened by Daniel's potential, he decided to sabotage the human chef's dish. Under the guise of inspecting his own station, Zephyrin discreetly tampered with Daniel's ingredients, adding a bitter herb known to clash with Celestium. He believed this would ruin the harmony of Daniel's sauce. Unaware of the sabotage, Daniel continued to perfect his dish. He plated a beautifully seared steak, accompanied by roasted vegetables and a drizzle of his meticulously crafted sauce. The judges were eager to taste his creation, their expectations heightened by his previous success. Zephyrin presented his entree first, a visually stunning dish featuring glimrath meat and an intricate celestium glaze. The judges praised his presentation and the balance of flavors, but there was a sense that something was missing, a certain emotional depth that had characterized Daniel's dishes. When it was Daniel's turn, he stepped forward with confidence. He explained the concept behind his dish, emphasizing the importance of the sauce in bringing together the diverse flavors. The judges took their first bites, and Daniel held his breath, hoping they wouldn't notice the sabotage. To his relief, the judges seemed impressed. Syraxa nodded thoughtfully. "This sauce is exceptional, Daniel. The celestium adds a unique depth, and the overall balance is superb. You've managed to create a dish that is both innovative and deeply satisfying." Zephyrin's expression darkened as he realized his sabotage had failed. The bitter herb he had added had been masked by the complexity of Daniel's sauce, enhancing rather than detracting from the dish. Daniel's resilience and skill had once again triumphed over adversity. As the competition progressed, the chefs were given a brief respite to relax and socialize. The atmosphere in the contestants' lounge was a mix of camaraderie and tension. Despite the fierce rivalry, there was also a sense of mutual respect among the chefs, each recognizing the other's dedication and talent. Anara approached Daniel with a smile. "Your sauce was incredible, Daniel. I don't know how you managed to balance those flavors so perfectly." "Thanks, Anara," Daniel replied, grateful for her support. "It was a bit of a gamble, but I'm glad it paid off." Thras, joining the conversation, nodded in agreement. "You've got some serious skills, human. But don't think we're going to go easy on you. This competition is only going to get tougher." "I wouldn't expect anything less," Daniel said with a grin. He appreciated the friendly rivalry and the opportunity to learn from such diverse culinary traditions. Meanwhile, Zephyrin kept to himself, brooding over his failed attempt to sabotage Daniel's dish. He couldn't deny the human chef's talent, but his pride prevented him from acknowledging it openly. Instead, he resolved to redouble his efforts and prove his superiority in the upcoming rounds. As the chefs mingled, they shared stories of their culinary journeys and the cultural significance of their dishes. Anara spoke of her Martian heritage and the unique challenges of growing ingredients in the harsh environment of Mars. Thras recounted tales of Venusian feasts and the importance of communal dining in his culture. Daniel found himself inspired by these stories. He realized that, despite their differences, all the chefs were united by a common passion for cooking and a desire to share their cultures through food. It was a powerful reminder of the potential for understanding and connection that transcended species and borders. In a quiet moment, Anara pulled Daniel aside. "I need to tell you something. I saw Zephyrin tampering with your ingredients earlier. I couldn't prove it, but I thought you should know." Daniel's eyes widened in surprise. "That explains a lot. Thanks for letting me know, Anara. I'll have to be more careful from now on." Anara nodded. "We're all here to compete, but we should do it fairly. Don't let Zephyrin's actions discourage you." With a renewed sense of determination, Daniel prepared for the next round. He knew the road ahead would be filled with challenges, but he also felt a growing sense of camaraderie with his fellow chefs. The bonds and rivalries that had formed would drive them all to push their limits and create extraordinary dishes. As the competition continued, the stage was set for an epic showdown. The chefs would be tested not only on their culinary skills, but also on their ability to navigate the complexities of trust, respect, and ambition. And in the midst of it all, Daniel remained focused on his goal: to bridge the gap between humans and aliens through the universal language of food. The day of the dessert round arrived, and the tension in the air was palpable. This round was crucial, as it would further narrow the field of contestants. The chefs were tasked with creating a dessert that not only showcased their skills, but also incorporated celestium in a way that highlighted its unique qualities. Daniel felt a mix of excitement and apprehension. He had a vision for a dessert that combined the comforting flavors of Earth with the exotic allure of celestium, a delicate panna cotta infused with the rare spice, topped with a celestial fruit compote. He hoped that the dessert's subtle yet complex flavors would impress the judges. As the chefs began their preparations, Daniel kept a wary eye on Zephyrin. He couldn't shake off the warning Anara had given him about the sabotage. Determined to avoid any tampering, he meticulously guarded his workstation, ensuring that every ingredient was untouched, and every step of his process was precise. Zephyrin, frustrated by his previous failed attempt, was determined to sabotage Daniel's chances. This time, he planned to be more discreet. Under the guise of checking his own ingredients, he made his way towards Daniel's station. At a crucial moment when Daniel was momentarily distracted, Zephyrin subtly introduced an agent into Daniel's gelatin mixture that would prevent it from setting properly. Unaware of Zephyrin's actions, Daniel continued with his preparations. He carefully mixed the celestium into the panna cotta base and poured it into molds, placing them in the fridge to set. He then turned his attention to the fruit compote, unaware that his panna cotta was destined to fail. Anara, who had been keeping an eye on Zephyrin, noticed his suspicious behavior. When Daniel left his station to wash his hands, she quickly examined his gelatin mixture and detected the sabotage. Knowing she couldn't confront Zephyrin without proof, she decided to take action in a different way. When Daniel returned, Anara subtly handed him a small vial. "Daniel, I think you might need this," she whispered. "It's an enzyme that helps set gelatin, just in case something goes wrong." Daniel looked at her, puzzled but grateful. "Thanks, Anara. I appreciate it." He added the enzyme to his mixture, hoping it would ensure his panna cotta set properly. As the minutes ticked away, he focused on perfecting his fruit compote, infusing it with celestium and a touch of Earth's citrus flavors. As the chefs completed their desserts, the judges prepared to taste the final creations. Zephyrin presented his dish first, a Glimrath confection that sparkled with a celestium glaze. The judges were impressed by its visual appeal and the delicate balance of flavors. Next was Anara, who had crafted a Martian dessert that combined the earthy textures of Mars-grown fruits with the ethereal notes of celestium. The judges appreciated her innovative use of ingredients and the harmonious blend of flavors. When it was Daniel's turn, he nervously presented his panna cotta. The judges inspected it closely, noting the silky texture and the vibrant fruit compote. As they took their first bites, Daniel held his breath, praying that the dessert had set properly. To his immense relief, the judges seemed pleased. Siraxa, the head judge, smiled as she savored the panna cotta. "This is exquisite, Daniel. The panna cotta is perfectly set, and the celestium adds a wonderful depth to the flavor. The fruit compote complements it beautifully, creating a dessert that is both comforting and exotic." The other judges nodded in agreement, and a sense of triumph washed over Daniel. He had not only overcome the sabotage, but had also created a dessert that resonated with the judges. As the judges deliberated, the tension among the contestants was palpable. Zephyrin's face was a mask of frustration as he realized his sabotage had failed yet again. Daniel, on the other hand, felt a surge of gratitude towards Anara and a renewed sense of confidence. Siraxa stepped forward to announce the results. The winner of this round, for their exceptional use of celestium and their innovative approach to dessert, is Daniel Carter. The crowd erupted in applause, and Daniel felt a wave of emotion. He had not only proven himself once again, but had also earned the respect of the judges and his fellow contestants. He glanced at Anara, who smiled and gave him a thumbs up, and at Zephyrin, whose expression was a mix of grudging respect and lingering resentment. In the break between rounds, the chefs had a chance to relax and reflect on their experiences. Anara approached Daniel with a grin. "I knew you could do it, and I'm glad the enzyme worked." "Thank you, Anara," Daniel said sincerely. "I couldn't have done it without your help." Thras joined them, his respect for Daniel evident. "You've got some serious talent, human, but the next round will be even tougher. We're all in it to win." "I wouldn't have it any other way," Daniel replied, determined to keep pushing his limits. Meanwhile, Zephyrin stood alone, contemplating his next move. He couldn't deny Daniel's talent, but his pride and competitive spirit wouldn't let him give up. He resolved to fight even harder in the upcoming rounds, determined to prove his superiority once and for all. As the contestants prepared for the next challenge, the bonds and rivalries that had formed grew stronger. Daniel felt a deep sense of camaraderie with Anara and Thras, but he also knew that the competition would only get more intense. The journey ahead promised to be filled with even greater challenges, but Daniel was ready to face them head-on, driven by his passion for cooking and his desire to bridge the gap between humans and aliens through the universal language of food. The competition reached a fever pitch as the chefs prepared for the next round. This time, the stakes were higher than ever. The contestants were tasked with creating a dish on the spot, using a combination of ingredients from their home planets and the mysterious Celestium. This live cooking showdown would determine who advanced to the final round. Daniel felt a mix of excitement and nerves. He knew that every move he made would be scrutinized by the judges and the audience. As he gathered his ingredients, he noticed Zephyrin watching him closely, his expression unreadable. Despite Zephyrn's previous attempts at sabotage, Daniel resolved to stay focused and trust in his skills. The chefs began cooking, the kitchen alive with a flurry of activity. Daniel decided to create a dish that represented the harmony between Earth and the galaxy. A grilled fish marinated in Celestium, served with a side of spiced grains and a fresh salad. He wanted to showcase the versatility of both Earth ingredients and the rare spice. As Daniel worked, he couldn't help but notice Zephyrn's intense concentration. The Glimrath chef was preparing a complex dish that involved multiple cooking techniques and a precise balance of flavors. Daniel knew that Zephyrin was a formidable opponent, but he also believed in the power of his own creativity and determination. Just as Daniel was finishing his dish, a commotion broke out in the kitchen. One of the judges, a stern Martian named Varric, had discovered evidence of sabotage in Daniel's workstation. A small vial of the bitter herb Zephyrin had used earlier was found hidden among Daniel's ingredients. The revelation sent shockwaves through the competition. Varric called for silence and addressed the contestants. "It has come to our attention that there has been an attempt to sabotage one of the dishes. This is a serious violation of the competition's rules and spirit. We will investigate this matter thoroughly." Zephyrn's face turned pale, realizing that his actions had been exposed. The other chefs looked on in shock and dismay, unsure of how to react. Daniel felt a surge of anger and disappointment, but he quickly composed himself. He knew that integrity and fairness were more important than winning at any cost. Siraxa, the head judge, stepped forward. "We will not tolerate dishonesty in this competition. Zephyrn, do you have anything to say for yourself?" Zephyrn hesitated, his pride and arrogance crumbling under the weight of his actions. Finally he spoke, his voice tinged with regret. I apologize. I let my desire to win cloud my judgment. I sabotaged Daniel's ingredients." The audience murmured in disbelief, and the judges exchanged disappointed glances. Siraxa nodded gravely. "Your actions have consequences, Zephyrin. You are disqualified from this competition, and you must leave immediately." As Zephyrin was escorted out, Daniel felt a mix of emotions. He had lost a fierce rival, but he had also witnessed the downfall of a once great chef. He resolved to focus on the positive and continue giving his best in the competition. With Zephyrin disqualified, the remaining contestants prepared for the final showdown. The atmosphere was charged with anticipation and determination. Daniel, Anara, and Thras knew that this was their last chance to prove themselves and win the prestigious title. The challenge for the final round was revealed. The chefs were to create a dish that represented the future of intergalactic cuisine. They were given access to a wide array of ingredients from across the galaxy, and they had to incorporate Celestium in a way that showcased its potential as a unifying element. Daniel felt a surge of inspiration. He envisioned a dish that blended the best of Earth's culinary traditions with the innovative techniques he had learned throughout the competition. He decided to create a deconstructed galactic paella, featuring a variety of proteins, vegetables, and grains, all infused with Celestium. As the final round began, the chefs moved with a sense of purpose and urgency. The kitchen was a whirlwind of activity, with flames roaring, knives chopping, and aromas mingling in the air. Daniel focused on each element of his dish, ensuring that every component was cooked to perfection and that the celestium was used in a way that enhanced the overall flavor profile. Anara worked on a Martian-inspired dish that combined the robustness of Mars-grown produce with delicate interstellar spices. Thras, drawing on his Venusian heritage, created a vibrant and colorful plate that celebrated the communal aspects of Venusian feasts. The judges watched intently as the chefs plated their final creations. The audience, too, was on the edge of their seats, eager to see who would emerge victorious. As the chefs presented their dishes, the room was filled with a palpable sense of excitement and anticipation. Daniel stepped forward to present his deconstructed galactic paella. He explained his vision, emphasizing the importance of unity and collaboration in the future of intergalactic cuisine. The judges took their first bites, and Daniel held his breath, hoping that his dish would resonate with them. Syraxa's eyes lit up as she tasted the paella. "This is extraordinary, Daniel. The flavors are harmonious, and the use of celestium is masterful. You have truly captured the spirit of this competition." The other judges nodded in agreement, praising Daniel's creativity and execution. Anara and Thras also received high praise for their innovative dishes, each showcasing the unique qualities of their home planets while incorporating celestium in new and exciting ways. As the judges deliberated, the tension in the room reached its peak. Finally, Syraxa stepped forward to announce the winner. "This competition has been a testament to the incredible talent and dedication of all our chefs. Each of you has brought something unique and valuable to the table. However, there can only be one winner." She paused, letting the anticipation build. "The winner of the intergalactic culinary competition, for their exceptional creativity, skill, and vision for the future of intergalactic cuisine, is Daniel Carter." The audience erupted in applause, and Daniel felt a wave of emotion wash over him. He had done it. He had proven that human cuisine could stand alongside the best in the galaxy. Anara and Thras congratulated him warmly, their respect and admiration evident. As Daniel accepted his trophy, he felt a deep sense of fulfillment. He had not only won the competition, but had also forged new friendships and built bridges between cultures. The journey had been challenging, but it had also been incredibly rewarding. With the competition behind him, Daniel looked forward to a future filled with possibilities. He was determined to continue exploring the culinary traditions of the galaxy, always seeking to learn and innovate. And as he glanced at the audience, he knew that his victory was just the beginning of a new chapter in the story of intergalactic cuisine. The aftermath of the final showdown left the chefs in a state of exhilaration and exhaustion. The grandeur of the event, the intensity of the competition, and the emotional highs and lows had taken a toll on everyone. Daniel, still riding the wave of his victory, was already thinking ahead to the future. He knew that winning the intergalactic culinary competition was not the end, but rather a new beginning. The award ceremony was held in a magnificent hall, adorned with intricate decorations representing the various cultures of the galaxy. As Daniel stepped onto the stage to receive his trophy, he felt a surge of pride and gratitude. The applause from the audience, the smiles from his fellow contestants, and the approving nods from the judges made the moment unforgettable. Syraxa handed Daniel the trophy, her eyes reflecting admiration. "Daniel Carter, your victory is well-deserved. Your dishes have not only showcased your incredible talent, but also highlighted the potential for unity and collaboration in our diverse galaxy. You have set a new standard for intergalactic cuisine." "Thank you, Syraxa," Daniel replied, his voice filled with emotion. "This competition has been an incredible journey. I've learned so much from everyone here, and I'm honored to be a part of this amazing culinary community." As the ceremony concluded, Daniel found himself surrounded by well-wishers. Anara and Thras were among the first to congratulate him, their camaraderie and respect evident. "You've done it, Daniel," Anara said, her eyes shining. "Your dishes were truly inspiring." "Indeed," Thras added. "You've proven that human cuisine has a place among the best. We've all learned something valuable from this experience." In the days following the competition, Daniel began making plans for the future. He envisioned a culinary school on Kresh Prime, a place where chefs from all over the galaxy could come together to learn, share, and innovate. He wanted to create a space that celebrated the diversity of culinary traditions and fostered a spirit of collaboration. Zephyrin, who had been conspicuously absent since his disqualification, approached Daniel with a humble expression. "Daniel, I owe you an apology. My actions during the competition were disgraceful. I let my pride and fear get the better of me. You have my respect and my sincere apologies." Daniel appreciated Zephyrin's gesture. "Thank you, Zephyrin. It takes courage to admit one's mistakes. I hope we can move past this and work together to promote understanding and unity through food." Zephyrin nodded, a hint of relief in his eyes. "I would like that. Perhaps I can even contribute to your culinary school. There's much we can learn from each other." With the competition behind them, Daniel, Anara, Thras, and Zephyrin began working on their shared vision for the future. The culinary school, which they decided to name the Intergalactic Culinary Institute, quickly became a reality. Chefs from across the galaxy were invited to teach, learn, and share their unique culinary traditions. The opening of the institute was a grand affair, attended by dignitaries, chefs, and food enthusiasts from all over the galaxy. The event was a celebration of diversity, with stalls offering a dazzling array of dishes from different planets, each one telling a story of its own. Daniel stood at the entrance, greeting guests and marveling at how far they had come. Anara and Thras were busy setting up their respective stations, while Zephyrin, true to his word, was preparing a demonstration of Glimrath cooking techniques. As the guests mingled and sampled the various dishes, Siraxa approached Daniel, her expression one of pride. "You've created something truly special here, Daniel. This institute will be a beacon of hope and understanding in our galaxy." "Thank you, Siraxa," Daniel replied. "It's been a collaborative effort. I'm grateful for the support and encouragement from everyone." Throughout the day, the institute buzzed with activity. Workshops, cooking demonstrations, and tasting sessions filled the schedule, each one highlighting the unique flavors and techniques of different cultures. The atmosphere was one of excitement and discovery, as chefs and guests alike explored the endless possibilities of intergalactic cuisine. One of the highlights of the event was a special cooking competition, featuring chefs from the Institute showcasing their skills. Daniel, Anara, Thras, and Zephyrin served as judges, a symbolic gesture of their commitment to fairness and collaboration. The competition was fierce but friendly, with chefs presenting dishes that pushed the boundaries of creativity and innovation. The winning dish, a Martian-Venusian fusion dessert, embodied the spirit of the Institute, combining elements from both planets in a harmonious and delightful creation. As the day drew to a close, Daniel reflected on the journey that had brought them here. He had started as an underdog in a prestigious competition, facing skepticism and sabotage. Through determination, creativity, and a commitment to fairness, he had not only won, but also earned the respect of his peers and rivals. The Institute was a testament to what could be achieved when people from different backgrounds came together with a common goal. It was a place where chefs could learn from each other, challenge their preconceptions, and create something greater than the sum of its parts. In a quiet moment, Zephyrin approached Daniel, holding a small plate. "I wanted you to taste this," he said, offering a piece of Glimrath confection. "It's a traditional dessert from my home planet, and I've added a touch of celestium, inspired by your dish." Daniel took a bite, savoring the delicate flavors and the hint of celestium. "This is incredible, Zephyrin. You've taken something traditional and made it new and exciting. This is exactly what the Institute is all about." Zephyrin smiled, a genuine warmth in his eyes. "Thank you, Daniel. I'm honored to be a part of this journey." As they stood together, watching the guests enjoy the fruits of their labor, Daniel felt a deep sense of fulfillment. The Institute was not just a culinary school. It was a symbol of hope, a place where the future of intergalactic cuisine could be shaped by the shared passion and creativity of chefs from every corner of the galaxy. And so, the story of Daniel Carter, Anara, Thras, and Zephyrin became a legendary tale, a reminder that even the deepest differences could be bridged through the simple act of sharing a meal. The Intergalactic Culinary Institute thrived, becoming a beacon of cultural exchange and innovation. Its reputation spread far and wide, attracting students, chefs, and food enthusiasts from every corner of the galaxy. The Institute's halls echoed with laughter, learning, and the sizzling sounds of culinary creativity. Daniel found himself busier than ever, balancing his roles as an instructor, mentor, and ambassador for the Institute. Yet, amidst the whirlwind of activity, he always made time for the students, believing that their passion and fresh perspectives were the heart of the Institute's success. One day, as Daniel was preparing for a workshop on Earth's culinary traditions, he received a message from the Galactic Council. They had invited him to speak at a summit on intergalactic cultural exchange, recognizing the Institute's role in fostering unity and understanding. Daniel felt a deep sense of pride and responsibility as he accepted the invitation. The summit was held on the neutral planet of Rilan, known for its breathtaking landscapes and advanced conference facilities. Representatives from numerous planets gathered, eager to discuss ways to enhance interplanetary cooperation and harmony. Daniel's speech was highly anticipated, and he spent hours crafting a message that would resonate with the diverse audience. On the day of the summit, Daniel stood before a vast assembly of dignitaries, scholars, and leaders. The room was filled with an expectant hush as he began to speak. Distinguished guests, it is an honor to address you today. The Intergalactic Culinary Institute was founded on a simple yet profound belief that food has the power to bring us together. In the kitchen, we find a common language, a space where differences melt away and creativity flourishes. When I first entered the intergalactic culinary competition, I faced skepticism and prejudice. But through perseverance, collaboration, and a shared love of cooking, we created something extraordinary. The Institute stands as a testament to what we can achieve when we embrace our diversity and work together. Our galaxy is vast and varied, but our shared humanity, our desire to connect and understand each other, transcends the boundaries of space and culture. By celebrating our unique culinary traditions and learning from one another, we build bridges of understanding and respect. As we move forward, let us remember that every meal we share is an opportunity to forge new connections, to appreciate different perspectives, and to create a future where unity and diversity coexist in harmony. Thank you. The audience erupted in applause, and Daniel felt a wave of emotion wash over him. His message had resonated, and he hoped it would inspire further efforts to promote cultural exchange and cooperation across the galaxy. After the summit, Daniel returned to the Institute with a renewed sense of purpose. He was greeted by his fellow chefs and students, who were eager to hear about his experience. Anara, Thras, and even Zephyr, now a respected instructor at the Institute, gathered around, their camaraderie stronger than ever. "You did us proud, Daniel," Anara said, her eyes shining with pride. "Your words were powerful and inspiring." "Indeed," Thras added, "you've shown the galaxy the true spirit of the Institute." Zephyr nodded in agreement. "Your vision has brought us all together. We have much to learn from each other, and I'm grateful to be a part of this journey." The following months saw the Institute flourish in new ways. They hosted cultural festivals, culinary exchanges, and collaborative projects that pushed the boundaries of what was possible in the kitchen. Students from different planets worked side by side, creating dishes that were both innovative and deeply rooted in their traditions. One day, as Daniel was walking through the bustling halls of the Institute, he was approached by a young student. The student, a shy Martian named Kira, held out a plate of food. "Chef Daniel, I made this dish using what I learned from your Earth cuisine class," Kira said, her voice trembling with nervous excitement. "I hope you like it." Daniel took a bite, savoring the rich flavors and the careful attention to detail. He smiled warmly. "Kira, this is fantastic. You've done an amazing job. Keep experimenting and pushing your limits. You're going to do great things." Kira's face lit up with a mixture of pride and relief. "Thank you, Chef Daniel. I will." As Daniel continued his walk, he felt a deep sense of fulfillment. The Institute was more than just a school. It was a living, breathing testament to the power of food to unite, inspire, and transform. He knew that the legacy they were building would endure for generations, shaping the future of intergalactic cuisine and fostering a spirit of unity and understanding across the stars. And so, the story of Daniel Carter and the Intergalactic Culinary Institute became a legendary tale, passed down through the ages as a symbol of what could be achieved when people came together with open hearts and minds. It was a story of hope, resilience, and the enduring power of a shared meal to bring light to the darkest corners of the galaxy.